Mr. Juliana is reminding me we have the good of the cause. So any members of the public wish to speak to the board, folks are reminded this is a public meeting, and so this is televised. If you have any specific student or staff issues, to raise them with the appropriate administrator first. Anyone want to speak to the board this evening? All right, seeing none, I will close the public portion and we will combine the remaining items. May I have a motion for the remaining items on the agenda, which will be items H through, let's see, M as in Mike.
Including the personnel.
So moved.
Yes, including the personnel addendum.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shaw, second by Mrs. Becker. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Shaw.
On our agenda is a recommendation to enter into a contract with Advocate, Inc., and I wondered if perhaps either Dr. Valesky or Mr. Juliana could give us a brief overview of the services that we are seeking from this consulting company.
I'll ask Mr. Giuliano to brief the board.
Certainly. Advocate has been working with the district in providing oversight and monitoring services with our outsourced companies, Aramark, in both the food service and the custodial service program. That's involved coming through and doing quality assurance checks, building inspections, and a variety of work, and basically helping us to hold the outside services accountable to the performance standards that we're expecting of them.
Would you qualify this in any way as being a directive that would cause us to privatize any part of our services here?
Absolutely not, as has been the board's position in terms of privatization. That's not been the intent of the board. In fact, in these two areas, it has been the management aspect that has been outsourced while we've retained our staff at the levels that they have been. So what this has enabled us to do essentially is really meet the expectations of what I believe the taxpayers have of us in a better way. We're providing a better food service program to our students, higher quality food, better participation in terms of our facilities in the custodial program. The cleanliness of the buildings has been markedly improved, something that we had difficulty in both of those areas really achieving on our own, and having the oversight has from this company, as well as having the management aspects that are provided through Aramark, has been a great benefit to the district.
And they will actually provide us with a report of recommendations based
Yes.
on their
Yes, we receive
evaluation or assessment?
regular reports on the building inspections, on the food service operations, and basically they help us in being the watchdog.
But we're under no expectation to follow every recommendation that a consultant might provide in one of these reports.
No, and actually, what we receive in these services is really their report cards based on what our specifications require in these areas. So they're not recommendations to make changes. They're actually holding accountable to the standards that we had already set.
Very good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes, motion carries. On that note, Dr. Valesky, you had mentioned some personnel
Absolutely.
issues, and I will say that as we are closing the chapter on one school year, we're always looking at the next school year that we're about to open soon.
Absolutely.
So I think you have some new personnel appointments that you want to, that we just made, actually, that you want
Just
to
made.
share with the public.
Yes, I want to thank the board very much for voting on my recommendations. So I'd like to officially introduce our new administrators to East Brunswick Public Schools. So the new principal of Chittick Elementary School will be Mrs. Megan Mineta, and she was unable to stay with us tonight after the interview. She's actually attending a retirement party for her father-in-law at the high school, Robert Mineta. So Elizabeth Dunn will take over as the new principal of Lawrence Brook and be leaving her position as vice principal at high school. And Cheryl Jones will be going to Memorial School as the new principal and leaving her position as department chair of curriculum at Hammersholt. And brand new to the district, and the position of Director of Facilities, Mr. Gerald Shenick. So if I could have all of the administrators come forward just for the camera so we can all see you, and we'll maybe get a picture.
Even right in front of the podium, it would be great, just so everybody can already start to get to know you.
Mr. Simmons, you want to join me for a picture?
Oh, sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Want me to stand over here and behind the mic? Is that what you're
Yeah, right, you're introducing that, that's me.
You know, well, you happy so I can stage that.
There you go.
Well, Ms. Dunn, I know I mentioned this earlier, but we'll miss you in the morning at drop-off at the high school, but I'm excited for your new opportunity for you, so congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. Great stuff. All right, on that note, we do have a need to continue closed session, so I'm going to...
Are you not taking
committees.
committee
Oh,
reports, or do you want to?
wow. See, all this excitement got me to forget committee reports. Yes, that's right. We have our new student rep here.
Oh, I
Well-
thought she went home.
Let's do, I think she waited.